Kaito is the weakest in the whole world until he finds a goddess and becomes the strongest hero to ever exist. Kaito Takagi is a typical high school boy who spends his days hunting slimes for extra cash. While hunting his 1000th slime, he discovers a golden rare slime. He kills it with his jet spray gun but notices no level up. As he approaches the dead slime, it turns into a golden card with a mystical girl on it. The card is named Sylphie, a Valkyrie considered a demigod in mythology. Exiting the dungeon, Kaito encounters 3 people entering and wishes to be like them. Kaito goes to a shop to sell the slime's magic core, but they're too cheap. He asks about the price of a rare card, and the shopkeeper tells him it's worth 1 million yen. As he mumbles 1 million yen, his friends interrupt him, asking what he's saying. On the train, they talk about hunting slimes. Kaito asks why they quit dungeon exploring. They reply that traumatic experiences made them afraid of it. They ask if Kaito isn't tired of hunting slimes. Kaito says, "I am not going for the slime." At dinner, Kaito's parents inquire about his school, and he says there's nothing to worry about. While taking a bath, Kaito debates whether to summon the servant to explore deeper floors or sell the card to buy anything he wants. The next morning, on his way to school, Kaito encounters a beautiful girl named Katsuragi. They walk to school together, nervously chatting. Katsuragi asks Kaito if he went exploring the dungeon again, but Kaito denies it. In class, Kaito discusses with his friends what to do with the rare card. Kaito goes into the dungeon and summons the servant from the rare card. A giant mystical girl appears and transforms into a little girl named Sylphie. Kaito regrets not selling the card. They start hunting slimes together, with Sylphie killing them using blue lightning. After hunting many slimes, Kaito's level upgrades, but he's disappointed, thinking his status only increases when fighting slimes. Sylphie motivates him, and they call it a day. Kaito promises to summon Sylphie again, and orders her to return to the card. Kaito goes to the shop to sell the magic cores. The shopkeeper is surprised by the large number of cores. Kaito says he was lucky today. That night, Kaito thinks about how powerful Sylphie is and considers exploring the 2nd floor to fight goblins. But he's also afraid of goblins. He dreams of becoming a dungeon explorer like Captain Katsuragi. The next day, Kaito goes to the 2nd floor with Sylphie. His body shakes with fear of goblins, but Sylphie consoles him. They start moving towards the goblin, and Kaito attacks it with his stick. Kaito fights the goblin, falls to the ground, and sprays it in the eye. He swings his stick wildly, landing a hit and defeating the goblin. His stats level up and Sylphie praises him. He unlocks a new skill, and they continue hunting goblins together. Kaito asks Sylphie if she knows much about the dungeon. Sylphie says her purpose is to serve him. They collect valuable goblin cores and sell them at a high price. The next day, Katsuragi asks Kaito if he went to the dungeon. He denies it, saying he's working out to be like Schwarzenegger. Kaito tells his friends about killing goblins on the 2nd floor. They're surprised. Kaito aims to go deeper into the dungeon. Kaito and Sylphie return to the dungeon, killing more goblins. The next day, Kaito brings a tungsten rod instead of a stick. His stats upgrade, reaching level 10. Overwhelmed with joy, Kaito praises Sylphie, saying he could do all this because of her. They continue exploring the dungeon when a skeleton-like monster appears. Kaito attacks it with his tungsten rod, but it doesn't work. Sylphie's divine strike defeats the monster. Kaito obtains a strange red-colored magic core and gives it to Sylphie to eat. Sylphie says it's yummier than usual. Kaito suspects the core might be valuable. At the shop, the shopkeeper tells him it's worth 2 million yen. Kaito is shattered, regretting letting Sylphie eat the core. Kaito decides to explore the 3rd floor. He tells Sylphie he'll explore alone to get stronger. Sylphie praises his courage but feels emotional. Kaito reassures her, saying she's like a little sister. He names her Syl, which delights her. Kaito injures himself while hunting a goblin alone and goes to a shop for a potion. Realizing he needs better gear and more potions to explore deeper, he returns to the 1st floor to hunt slimes for magic cores. Kaito explains to his friends that he's on the 1st floor to explore the roots, but Katsuragi interrupts, making Kaito nervous. He collects enough cores to buy new equipment and feeds Sylphie. Sylphie senses a strange silver slime. Kaito attacks it with a jet spray, but Sylphie kills it with Divine Lightning Strike, revealing a new servant card. The new servant card reveals a Viscount-class devil named Luceria. Kaito is disappointed, expecting a more devilish character. Luceria calls Kaito dumb and unreliable. Sylphie defends Kaito, and they greet each other. Luceria asks for a magic core, but Kaito denies her until she proves herself. Luceria kills a slime with Hellfire of Destruction, impressing Kaito and Sylphie. Luceria complains when Kaito denies her more cores. They go to the 3rd floor, where Kaito brings a new weapon. Luceria criticizes it, saying expense doesn't make it better. They spot 2 hellhounds and Kaito orders Sylphie to shield them while Luceria attacks. Luceria kills both hellhounds and asks for their cores, but Kaito denies her. As they go deeper, 2 wild boars charge at them. Kaito orders Luceria to attack, but 1 boar survives. Kaito kills it with his crossbow, reaching level 11. Sylphie praises him, while Luceria asks for a core. Kaito listens to explorers talking about the 6th floor, imagining himself going there one day. His friends interrupt, asking about his first-choice school, making Kaito nervous. Kaito, Luceria, and Sylphie continue exploring the dungeon, killing monsters. Sylphie feels left out as Kaito gives more cores to Luceria. When Kaito asks Sylphie if something's wrong, she admits she feels neglected and left out. Kaito promises to give equal attention to both Sylphie and Luceria. Sylphie is overjoyed, and Kaito compliments Sylphie's lightning strike. Luceria complains that Kaito never compliments her, so he does, making her excited. Sylphie upgrades after killing 3 hellhounds, and Kaito continues to balance his attention between the 2 servants. As Kaito hunts more monsters, Sylphie and Luceria's growing appetites make it hard for him to collect magic cores. Kaito starts hunting slimes alone to avoid giving the cores to Sylphie and Luceria. Luceria questions why Kaito summons them if he doesn't need their help. Sylphie says she likes being summoned to encourage Kaito, and Luceria considers encouraging him too. The shopkeeper questions why Kaito is only bringing slime cores, and Kaito explains he's returned to the 1st floor to explore the routes. Kaito searches for armor to go to the 4th floor but finds it too expensive. In the dungeon, he encounters a special slime and orders Sylphie and Luceria to kill it, hoping for another servant card. Instead, it's a magic orb that grants Kaito the water ball spell. He tries using it on a hellhound, but it causes no damage. Disappointed, Kaito regrets keeping the spell instead of selling it. That night, while sitting on a swing, Katsuragi approaches him. They walk home together, and Kaito thanks her for helping him the other day, making Katsuragi sad. The next day, Kaito practices his new attack, Water Ball, trying to strengthen it, but with little success. Exhausted, he dreams of his hero, Captain. He tries again to improve the water ball, making it into a cube, but fails. Leaving the dungeon, he bumps into a girl entering with her friends. They exchange brief words and move on. In school, Kaito is caught sleeping in class. He tells his friends about his new power, surprising them. Katsuragi asks if Kaito is training for the dungeon, but he lies, saying it's for the dance. Kaito kills a goblin with his improved water ball, earning compliments from Sylphie and Luceria. Noticing his level isn't increasing, he decides to go to the 4th floor. Kaito buys a new suit and bracelet, which Sylphie praises, but Luceria mocks. Sylphie senses a terrifying monster, a huge cockroach, terrifying both Sylphie and Luceria. They attack it in disgust. Kaito shouts, "Don't leave your master behind," and runs towards them. This makes them go to the 5th floor in a flash. Kaito shows them black magic cores which he collected by killing cockroach monsters. But both Sylphie and Luceria hesitate to eat them. They eat 1 core each, but it is gross. Kaito asks Sylphie if there are more monsters. Sylphie points towards 2 monsters made of mud with no physical body. Kaito shoots an arrow, but it passes right through them with no damage. Kaito orders Luceria to attack them, and she kills them both with her Hellfire of Destruction. Kaito again offers them black cores, but they refuse to eat those gross cores. The next day, they are roaming inside the dungeon, when Sylphie detects a peculiar mana from within the walls. Kaito asks Luceria if she senses something, but Luceria shakes her head. Sylphie then uses Divine Lightning Strike on the wall, and it opens a passageway that looks like a dungeon. They start walking inside it when Luceria puts her foot on a trap. To save her, Kaito jumps in front of her and gets hit by an arrow. Luceria again puts her foot on another trap, and this time, when Kaito is ready for the arrow, he gets struck by electricity. Sylphie again detects a strange presence. Sylphie again strikes the door with her divine lightning strike and breaks it. Sylphie senses a strange power. When they enter, they encounter a huge ogre and a big slime. Kaito orders Sylphie and Luceria to attack the ogre first, but their attacks have no effect on the ogre. The ogre then attacks them, but Sylphie protects them with her iron wall maiden shield. Kaito orders Luceria to take care of the slime. He shoots an arrow that hits the ogre on his leg and hurts him. Kaito's bolts are hurting the ogre, but he runs out of them. The ogre attacks them again with his huge weapon, which is again blocked by Sylphie's shield. Kaito tries to make a water ball, but this time it turns into ice because of his bracelet. He hits the ogre with ice and manages to cause damage. With concentration, he succeeds in making a huge and powerful ice bolt. He hits the ogre with it and kills it. Then he turns his attention to the slime and saves Luceria from the slime's attack. He orders Sylphie to use Divine Spear and himself tries to stop the slime with his shield. Strangely, his shield starts melting and he gets a burn on his shoulder. Sylphie attacks the slime with her spear, but her spear also has no effect on the slime. Seeing this, Kaito thinks of retreating, but then reminds himself that he wants to be a hero. He starts running towards the slime and hits it with his jet spray. The jet spray is damaging the slime very slowly. Kaito asks Sylphie to use her shield to block the slime's attack. Kaito's sprays run out and he pulls out 2 stronger double jet sprays from his bag. Finally, he manages to kill the slime but gets burned himself. He drinks a potion to heal himself. After this, Luceria levels up, and Kaito's skills also get upgraded. Kaito collects the magic cores from the ogre and the slime. To his surprise, the slime leaves a magic sword instead of a rare core like the ogre. The magic sword appears to be like a streak knife, which disappoints Luceria and Kaito. Kaito brings the red magic core to the shopkeeper for sale. She asks him where he found it. Kaito says that he found a hidden dungeon where he killed an ogre and got this rare red magic core. The shopkeeper says that they will look into this hidden dungeon and that the core is valuable and has a high price. She then tells Kaito that he should participate in the upcoming event on the 7th floor, as all the esteemed explorers will be participating in it. Kaito tells her that he will participate in it. Kaito tells his friends that he is going to an event where all the explorers will be there. Katsuragi hears it and asks if he is talking about the dance event. She says that she would love to go to the dance event with Kaito. At the event, Kaito is roaming around with no clue when a girl calls him and says that he is in their party. Kaito turns, and these are the same girls he bumped into a few days ago in the dungeon. They introduce themselves to him. The girl Kaito collided with is named Eiri Jigugi, and the other 2 girls are Miko Moriyami and Hikari Tanabe. Kaito also introduces himself and says that he is pleased to meet them.